Public transportation is designed to be forgettable. The same routes, the same stops, the same faces that blur together as we move from one obligation to another. Buses hiss as their doors open, subway cars rattle through dark tunnels, and trains glide forward like clockwork. It's a system built on predictability, on routine. And yet, it's precisely this routine that allows something far more unsettling to hide in plain sight. Because when something breaks that pattern, when something feels off in a place meant to feel ordinary, the fear cuts deeper than expected. Think about your own commute for a moment. Have you ever felt a sudden chill for no clear reason? Have you ever sensed eyes on you, only to look up and find no one there? Or perhaps you noticed a reflection in the window that didn't quite match reality. These moments are easy to dismiss. We blame exhaustion, stress, imagination. But what if those instincts weren't wrong? What if, on certain routes and at certain hours, we are not as alone as we believe? Today, on True Terror Files Official, we're uncovering true, real-life accounts from everyday commuters who experience something they still struggle to explain. These are not exaggerated campfire stories. They are confessions from people who were simply trying to get home, from phantom passengers who vanish without a trace, to voices echoing through empty subway cars. These encounters reveal a disturbing truth. Sometimes, public transportation carries more than just the living. Before we continue, take a moment to engage with us. Have you ever experienced something unsettling on public transport? Something you've never been able to explain? Share your story in the comments. Many of the accounts featured on this channel come directly from viewers like you. As this investigation unfolds, we'll explore unexplained sounds, impossible encounters, and moments where reality itself seems to fracture. We'll also ask the difficult questions. Are these experiences psychological? Are they rooted in history and trauma? Or are they evidence of something far darker, riding quietly beside us? Stay with us, because once you hear what these commuters experienced, your next ride may never feel the same again. The bus was nearly empty when the man boarded. According to the commuter who shared this account, it was well past midnight, the kind of hour where even cities seem to hold their breath. The man sat 3 rows ahead, motionless, facing forward. No phone, no shifting, no sound. At first, nothing seemed unusual until the temperature dropped. Not gradually, but instantly, like stepping into a freezer. At the next stop, the bus doors opened. No one got on, no one got off. But when the doors closed and the bus moved forward, the seat where the man had been sitting was empty. No footsteps, no movement, just absence. The cold lingered for several seconds before fading. The driver insisted no one had exited. The security footage later showed something even more disturbing. The seat had been empty the entire time. Another account comes from a subway operator who worked late-night routes for over a decade. He described hearing whispers through the intercom system while passing through abandoned tunnel sections. At first, he assumed it was signal interference, but the voices were distinct, calm, whispering his name. When he checked the cars at the end of the line, they were completely empty. Experts often suggest auditory hallucinations caused by fatigue or stress, especially in monotonous environments like tunnels. But this explanation becomes harder to accept when multiple operators report hearing the same phrases on the same stretch of track at the same time each night. Urban legends attempt to fill the gaps where logic fails. Some say certain routes overlap with forgotten burial grounds. Others believe repeated trauma imprints itself on locations, leaving echoes behind. But even skeptics admit that something about underground transit systems amplifies unease. Confined spaces, artificial lighting, endless darkness rushing past at high speed. Whatever the explanation, one thing remains constant. Those who hear the whispers never forget them, and many refuse to work that route ever again. Sometimes the terror isn't invisible. Sometimes it's sitting inches away from you. One commuter described a woman who boarded a morning train and stood far too close, despite plenty of empty space. Her movements were jerky, unnatural, as if she were mimicking human behavior rather than participating in it. When the commuter shifted away, the woman mirrored the movement perfectly. Not a second later, at the exact same time. The most disturbing part came when their eyes met. The woman didn't blink. She didn't react. Her pupils were dilated so wide they nearly swallowed the whites of her eyes. When the train stopped, she didn't exit. She didn't move at all. And when the commuter looked back moments later, the space was empty. Another story involves a shared glance between two passengers who witnessed the same impossible detail. A man across the aisle appeared normal until the train passed through a tunnel and the lights flickered. In that brief darkness, his reflection in the window didn't match his movements. His head tilted in the reflection while his body remained still. Both passengers reported the same thing independently. They had never spoken before that night. They spoke afterward only to confirm what they saw, and then never again. Psychologists note that confined spaces heighten our sensitivity to abnormal behavior. Small anomalies feel magnified, but reflection mismatches and synchronized movements defy simple explanation. These encounters leave behind a lingering question. Were these people human at all? Some routes carry history, and sometimes that history refuses to stay buried. A maintenance worker described watching a set of keys slide across the floor of an empty train car while it was parked overnight. No vibration, no wind, just movement. Security logs showed no one had entered or exited the car. Another chilling account involves a tram line built shortly after a fatal accident that claimed dozens of lives decades earlier. Riders frequently report hearing crying, smelling smoke, or feeling sudden pressure on their chests while passing the site. Transit authorities quietly rerouted night services years ago, though no official explanation was given. Historians suggest that trauma leaves psychological scars on communities. Paranormal researchers argue it leaves something else entirely, an imprint, replaying fragments of the past. Whether you believe in residual hauntings or not, the patterns are difficult to ignore. Public transportation doesn't just move people. It moves through time, memory, and forgotten tragedy. And sometimes, it brings pieces of that past along for the ride. These stories don't end when the ride does. That's what makes them so unsettling. Commuters report lingering dread, recurring dreams, and an overwhelming sense of being watched long after the encounter. The commute becomes a reminder that the line between ordinary and extraordinary is thinner than we like to believe. As you reflect on these accounts, ask yourself this: how many moments have you dismissed without a second thought? How many strange sensations did you explain away because it was easier than confronting the unknown? Here at True Terror Files Official, we investigate the stories that stay with you, the encounters that don't fit neatly into logic. If today's episode resonated with you, let us know in the comments. Your experience could be part of our next investigation. If you value thoughtful, chilling, true stories like these, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who rides public transport alone at night, because sometimes awareness is the only protection we have. Until next time, watch the empty seats, and remember, you may not be riding alone.